Video, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff: operating costs, managing your unit, pricing strategy, you name it. I've got Matt Freese here with me. He's pulling in on average $180,000 a year on just 8 of his oceanfront condos. On one of his units right here at this resort, he made $42,000 in profit just last year. Let's get into the video now. Matt, so you were telling me about HO6 insurance, and you mentioned something I had never heard before. Which resort was that at? Grand Cayman?
Grand Cayman. So, yeah, and this is specifically with, we do a lot of different loan types, but this is specifically with DSCR loans, debt service credit ratio, right? If we're going based on, all right, like there's really 4 items that depend on your debt service credit ratio. 1, will the property appraise at value and appraise the cash flow? 2, what's your credit score? And then 3, do you have the down payment source? But 4, it's the insurance, because we're basically, on DSCR, we don't care what your income is, right? Your income is not calculated, but they want to make sure that if a hurricane hits, will the insurance cover the lost rent, right? So basically, some of these resorts that already have HO6 insurance policies, a lot of times they're not in the right or enough coverage for a DSCR loan. And that's because you have to, so the DSCR lenders, I don't care which wholesale lender I use, which route I go, all the DSCR lenders want lost rental income. So they want to make sure that if the building is closed down, will your insurance cover 6 months of lost rental income, right?
Wow.
So that way you don't have to pay it, right? The insurance company is going to pay it while it's closed down, which it protects you.
And so, that's part of your HO6 policy. Right.
A lot of times the resorts don't have that coverage. They have HO6 coverage, but they don't have lost rent HO6 coverage. The other thing is the lenders are going to want to be added as a mortgagee clause. A lot of these resorts have a master policy, so they can't add individual
units,
master insurance. So when the lender wants to make sure they get paid, they want to be added as a mortgagee clause, and a lot of these units won't do it. The other thing is deductible, right? So a lot of the wholesale lenders will, when you're going DSCR, they'll have a maximum deductible, say, each one's a little bit different, but say roughly around $2,000, right? Well, if the deductible is $2,500 or $3,000 or $5,000, which a lot of the HO6 policies at a lot of these resorts have really high deductibles.
Wow.
Well, then, so a lot of times when I have a client go under contract and they say, hey, well, this property already has HO6, a lot of times my response is, but it's probably not the right coverage that we're in.
So we're going to need to get an HO6 policy.
We're going to need.
Anyways.
So what a lot of myself and other people have done to get through closing, they get what makes the underwriter happy. A lot of times nobody really follows up after that. So as long as you have HO6 insurance policy, then it depends on the servicer that it goes to too.
So what do they charge? What do you see the typical HO6 policy rate come in at? Like how much per year?
About I'd say about $700 or $800 a year.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like you need this huge policy, but it's something that's needed when going to DSCR. Now a lot of times if we're going full doc or bank statement or whatnot, now we've qualified that they can afford to pay this even if it doesn't rent, so it doesn't matter. But this is really a DSCR requirement.
Okay. I'm going to throw out a few quick fire questions for you. So which vacation rental program do you prefer, like as far as platform? If you had to choose a platform, what's the best platform for you?
So I'm not a fan of VRBO. VRBO is confusing. Airbnb is my top choice, especially since the type of properties that we have, that's the clientele that we're getting is Airbnb clientele. If I have friends who own oceanfront houses in North Carolina, when they have their units on VRBO and Airbnb, all their listings come through VRBO. I have them on both platforms here. All my listings come through Airbnb.
What's the deal with that?
It's I think it's a state of mind of what they advertise, right? Like, so when you're thinking, hey, I need a 2-bedroom condo,
you think Airbnb.
You think Airbnb. If I want to rent a house, you're gonna go VRBO. It's weird. Yeah, maybe it's just how they market.
All right. So, what's the craziest guest story you've ever had?
So I did have a client recently that so she
Are you trying to figure out how to say this one? Huh?
Yeah. Well, so
just don't say any names.
Well, no. So usually every turnover I change the code. Well, I had one client reach out to me who was checking out on Friday night, who begged to pay extra for me not to do a 2-night minimum. I agreed, but I split up in 2 reservations where I didn't have scheduled the code change, right? So I split up in 2 rentals. So both Friday and Saturday both got the same code. The Saturday guests showed up on Friday night. They all guests entered the unit at the same time.
What? How?
They all just happened to show up at the same time. The first guest went into the unit. They were scheduled for Saturday night. Everybody, basically the guests who saw them walk into the unit called me and said, "Hey, somebody just walked in the unit that we're supposed to be staying in tonight." So I called the other guests and I said, "Hey, are you there a day early?" She's like, "Nope, I've got it booked for the whole weekend." And I was like, and I said, "Well, no, I'm looking at your reservation. You only booked for Saturday." "Nope, I booked Friday and Saturday." And I said, "No, like, pull up your reservation and look." And she hung up on me. And so I called her back and she said, "Stop calling me or I'll call the police." And I said, "Well," and she was like,
"What?"
She said, "I need to put my 2-year-old to bed. And so if you keep calling, then I'm going to call the police." I said, "Well, you're not supposed to be in the unit right now." I said, "I have another unit you can rent. I can move you over to." And that's when she hung up on me, right? And so, I called Airbnb and said, "How do I handle this?"
Yeah.
They said, "Call the police." So I called the police, and the police unfortunately didn't get there till 3 a.m. Luckily I had another unit open. I put the other family in my other unit. But the police showed up at 3 a.m. and escorted them out. And I feel really bad because she had a 2-year-old daughter. We could have made this work, but just let's talk it through.
Yeah, don't hang the phone up on me.
Right. All right. So, I mean,
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
That stinks. Okay, so any other kind of craziness like that?
We're going into complaint season. So there's
complaint season.
Yeah.
You mean the off-season months.
Yeah.
All right, talk to us. Come on, Matt. Tell us the juicy good stuff.
So complaint season, it usually starts about Labor Day.
Okay.
It started. Mine this year started on Labor Day, but it's basically people who have learned how to work the system.
All right, you got to take us to school. What does that mean?
So a lot of people get to the unit, and we're at the beach, right? So anything with metal on it will rust quickly because of the salt air, the humidity.
It's part of being at the beach.
It's part of being at the beach. So, but what these guests will do is they'll check in, they'll zoom in. So I have my stove, my drawer on my stove where it's I guess it rubbed, and so there's some rust right at the very top of it. I plan on putting a new stove in there, but it's not enough to. So they zoom in on that, and Labor Day weekend, I had a lady send me, I'd say 50 pictures, just like zooming in on things that like it's Airbnb. It's not not Hilton Grand Resorts. It's not like I try to get there. I renovate, but anything that's metal is going to rust pretty quickly.
It's in an oceanfront condo,
right? And so they'll use that. They'll send it into Airbnb. They'll complain until all right, yes, you got a good deal for this weekend. Now they want 50% back. Give them 50% back. Then they find some more things and they whittle it away. And so I've learned how to deal with those guys.
How do you do it? Like, how do you stop them from taking advantage of you?
So I do try to feel out each guest individually, because sometimes you can feel if the guests are just, if they don't, like if it's a Labor Day weekend, they don't want to leave, right? They really don't want to leave. They're complaining because they want money back. And so a lot of times on Labor Day weekend, like I'll pull up and say, there's nothing else available. They got a really good deal. No, you know, like basically,
I'm not giving you a discount.
No, if you know, if you want to go, here's what I'll do a lot of times. If you would like to cancel your reservations and leave and go find something else, I will refund you for what it rebooks for. Right? You just held the unit up, right, until your booking day. You're not. I do everything I can, and so the biggest kicker is I try to please the guests instead of refund them, right? And so a lot of times I say, okay, tell you what, I'm gonna get my maintenance guy out, and I'm gonna get the cleaners out. Tell them what you want them to do. And a lot of times they're like, well, I don't want to be interrupted. In reality, that's not what they want. They don't want me to fix the issue. They don't want the issue correct.
They just want their money.
They want a free stay. And so like you got to feel out the guests and figure out, are they just trying to get a free stay? A lot of times they don't want to leave. So a lot of times I give them the option. If I can tell that really they don't want to leave, they just want money, I'll give them the option to cancel and go find somewhere else to stay. And a lot of times they don't. I explained to all of them, I believe in making things right, not refunding, right?
Yep.
And so I get the maintenance out there, I get the cleaners out there, and I don't care what it costs. Make them happy. I'd rather spend that money to fix all the issues that they point out.
Because then the next guest can't complain about
it.
And it's fixed.
Exactly.
So they try to work you.
Oh yeah, and that's this usually Labor Day till.
But why is it that time of year?
Because people want a deal. They're coming here because they want a deal, and then they want a better deal than the deal they got, and they try to.
Dude, that's nuts, man.
Yeah.
They got nothing better to do than whittle the Airbnb host out of cash.
You know, and it's not just here. I'm on Airbnb groups. It's you know, everyone there now. The investment, I mean the complaint season varies, right? But it's the same thing across the board. Like I saw somebody the other day said that they were trying to get a refund because, they were trying to get a discount because of the spirits and the place was possessed, and so like apparently the spirits were ringing bells that were on the shelf, and so they didn't want to leave, they just want a partial refund.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
I mean, so they would try to use any kind of excuse.
They said they had to go spend money on sage, and sage is a place to get rid of the spirits.
Okay, so I have to backtrack for a second. You had a guest take 50 pictures and send them into Airbnb?
Oh yeah. I mean,
like 50?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's it. What sucks when they do that is like you can't respond because it's like ding 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 ding, and it just keeps popping up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what they do. They try. I had a guest on Labor Day weekend. She wanted a partial refund because they had bugs. They South Carolina has palmetto bugs, right?
Yes.
They saw 2 palmetto bugs, one on the hallway on the way into the door,
okay,
and one was on the balcony, and so they want a refund for those 2 bugs.
But it wasn't in the unit.
No.
I mean, and they literally called you on the phone, like you had a conversation. They said that.
Oh yeah, they reached out to Airbnb trying to get a partial refund. I pointed out to Airbnb that these bugs are not inside my unit.
They're not inside the unit.
And this isn't the first time it happened. I had a guy over in Monterey Bay. He actually complained. So he had 2 complaints. Well, 3. One, he could smell marijuana when he was out at the pool. I mean,
it's a tourist location.
It's a melting pot.
I mean,
right?
like we can't control what people do at the pool.
He saw palmetto bugs down by the pool. Well, he saw roaches, but he sent pictures there. Palmetto bugs, which palmetto bugs are roaches, but they're outdoor roaches. They don't even want to be inside. But you can't treat all of Myrtle Beach or all of South Carolina.
I get it.
And then his third complaint, which I understand, that I just had this unit remodeled, and I had a company come and scrape the popcorn. Some of the popcorn fell into the AC unit, and you could see it inside on the top, which the cleaners couldn't get to. And he said there was a possibility that there was asbestos in there, which the building was built in 2000. So there's no asbestos in there. But
dude, you got to be kidding me.
So I offered that maintenance come clean that out, but there's nothing I could do about the I told him I'd call the building maintenance about see if they can find out who's smoking weed and about the palmetto bugs. There's nothing I could do, but he demanded a full refund.
He didn't get it though, right?
No, that's because he didn't want to leave. He wanted to stay.
So basically, your policy is when you have all these complaints that come in, hey, listen, I'll fix it, or you can go somewhere else.
Right.
But you won't stay for free.
Right. No. And most of the time, at that point, if they go stay somewhere else, like I'm trying to make things right. So I will only refund you what it rebooks for. Yeah. But
now, when you say rebooks for, in other words, when the next guest checks in, that's what I'll give you back.
Yeah. So literally,
so if you booked for $650 and the next guest books for $500, you're only getting $500 back.
Right. I think that's a fair thing to do. I had a lot of mad guests during the hurricane. So I have in my listing, I highly travel. This is a business, right? And these are so I have in my listings, things can happen. I highly recommend the travel insurance, especially when traveling during the hurricane season, right?
No doubt, yeah.
So I have it in my listing. I have it in my pre-check-in email. When the hurricane came, 50% of my guests had travel insurance, the other 50 didn't. The problem is, what they said was, the travel insurance could take a couple weeks to get the funds back, right? So it would be easier for me to just refund them.
Airbnb said that to you, or the guests?
Both. Both were calling me during the hurricane saying that. But the thing is, that was $16,000. If all the bookings, if I refunded for everyone that asked for a refund, that was $16,000 for that week, right? Why is it fair to me, right, when I highly recommend travel insurance, right?
And you didn't take it.
And half of them took it, but they didn't want to file it, and the other half didn't take it.
So that's not your fault.
Right.
So a trick of the trade is to make sure that you recommend it in your listing.
Oh yeah. I make sure recommended, and I stick to that, because again, I'm running a business. I can't just eat $16,000 because of a hurricane.
Yeah, exactly. So if you had to give somebody a handful of tips on the best tricks and tips for how to manage their business well, obviously that's one right there. We're talking about making sure you're putting in the listing, get travel insurance. Your host, am telling you to get it.
Right.
What are the other little ins and outs like that you do that kind of safeguards you?
Well, besides that, I do try to kill everyone kindness. I try to get as many great reviews as possible. So occasionally, when you have the crazy person that is, I realized before I got into this, I realized I used to DJ years ago, and I realized you can't please everyone. It's impossible to please everyone.
Okay.
So as long as you focus on pleasing the 90%, occasionally you're going to have that person that you just can't please. And at that point, you say, at this point moving forward, I want you to communicate through Airbnb. And so, yeah, they're probably going to give you a bad review, but that's that one, 10%.
Gotcha. And, did you have a story where that happened?
Oh, yeah. Just here recently, was that one of my units here recently, she did leave me a bad review, but it was everything was out of my control. I can't remember what it was. But it was just here recently that there was no pleasing her.
So you tried and tried and tried. Everything you tried, she just shot down, basically.
Right. And then when I told her, I'd rather communicate through Airbnb, let Airbnb moderate this conversation. And I went out to Airbnb. She said the place looked nothing like the pictures. I had Airbnb, hey, look back at my previous reviews. My other 100 reviews all gave me 5 stars, and their comments, it looks exactly like the pictures. And I have one person saying it looks nothing like the pictures. So, it's
out of 100 people, you're probably wrong.
Right. Usually there's a underlying issue, right? All right, so maybe they thought it was direct oceanfront and it's ocean view, and they didn't realize that until they got here. Or maybe they got here, they went to the front desk and said, hey, I'm just curious, what are your rates for this week? And the front desk said, oh, well, walk-ins, we're giving a walk-in discount at blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Or, so now they're like, oh, if I cancel this, then I can, or,
Oh, now does that happen a lot?
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
How do you safeguard against that? They can't cancel, right?
Yeah, they can't. I have a strict cancellation policy.
Yeah.
But then, other times, sometimes they can find a better deal last minute. But the thing is, you held my unit for the last month, right? Because you wanted to stay here, and now you saw a better deal. You can't cancel last minute.
No.
And just because. So a lot of times people want to cancel because they found a better deal or something last minute. The other thing is, here the water park is not available unless you're on the rental program. You can go to this pool all you want, but the water park by the road, you need to be through the rental program.
Yep.
Well, I have that in my listing 4 times. Oh, well, between listing and pre-check and email, I have that 4 times. And the thing is that a lot of times they don't read that, and then they get here and realize, oh, if I go in through the front desk, I can use the water park. All right, let me cancel this. Go to the front desk, and so they look for any reasons to get canceled.
Cancellation, yeah.
Right, and so a lot of times at this resort, at least, that's in my mind why they're trying to cancel. Because
now, kind of work through, because I talk with clients all the time, and I let them know that they can do great on Airbnb, even though they don't use the on-site property management company, and their guests can't use things like the water park.
Oh yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah. I mean, my unit here, my 906 unit that brought in 82 grand, and my expenses were 40 grand. Hold on, I'm gonna say it again, guys. His unit here, 906, brought in $82,000, and his expenses were only 40 grand. Right. That's
$42,000 in profit off his unit.
Right. And so so a lot of people don't care about the water park, and as long as you're transparent about it and people don't find out until they get here.
Yeah.
I make sure it's in my listing multiple times. And so that's besides that, I was afraid buying here at first that I would get a lot of people pissed off about that. I reached out to a couple of the owners that were renting through themselves, and they all told me the same thing beforehand.
So it's an easy win for you. You make, 42 grand in profit. That the numbers do all the talking.
Right. Right.
All right. So moving right along, let's just real quick. I want to ask you this question here. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice about investing, what would it be?
Do it sooner.
And do it sooner. And then. What about burnout? Talk to me about burnout, investor burnout, short-term rental, vacation property ownership burnout. Is it a thing? Is it real?
Oh yeah.
Do you go through it? What do you do to get through it? Just take us to school on burnout.
Well, it really in off season when I get burned. Summertime, amazing. You have zero complaints. It's hands free. But the off season is when I don't. You deal with a lot of the people that are trying to find a better deal, right?
Yep.
And so I do get a little burnout then, or a little more aggravated then. But then I talked to the wife the other day about this. I was like, man, I'm really not looking at this off season, right? But at the same time, it pays our bills.
Exactly. It's passive. It's great passive income.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which you can't argue with. So, all right. So tell me just a little bit talk to me about absentee owners. I feel like when I go through a lot of the gross rental income data, you'll see at the same exact place, you've got one unit that brings in $25,000, and another unit that brings in $46,000. You have this one unit bringing in $72,000. Why are the numbers all over the place?
In reality, is how is it being managed? Right?
It's absentee ownership, right?
Right. Because if some people use the automatic pricing,
automatic pricing software like Price Labs.
Yeah, which I'm not a fan of. Because I wish the way that I price out, I wish there was software for the way I price out.
How do you price out?
I mean, like I was saying, I drop the prices, so I try to fill gaps. I don't want every Saturday, every Friday and Saturday book, like, and then just have Monday through Friday gaps all through the month, right? Because then you can't get a 7-day rental. So I drop my price on the weekend, jack them up on the. I drop my price on the weekdays, jack them up on the weekend. Then if I have somebody check out on a Sunday or somebody check out on Monday, that Monday price is going significantly low. I'll even go to $10 with a 5-night minimum just to make sure my next booking is back to back. So that I don't like gaps.
Wow. So you are serious on the whole pricing aspect of it.
Which that pricing could be put into software, but it's not right now.
Gotcha. So again, speak to me about absentee ownership, like not managing it well. Do you feel like there are a lot of owners out there that just kind of cast their units to the side or hand it to a property manager and don't care?
Well, yeah, I think the hardest thing to determine is, where do I set my prices? Nobody can. That's the question. Every time somebody closes a unit and then they call me afterwards and say, what do I set my prices? I don't know. I say set them high, and one of the tricks I do for off season is I will do a 30-day. Basically, I have my price at $999 a night, right? I'll do, if somebody's booking 30 days, they're getting 80% off, right? But then I'm going to keep dropping my prices till I cast that reel and I reel it in until I catch one, right?
Yeah.
And you got to keep casting that reel it in. If you just let that slide and just like set and forget it, one, you're going to be underpriced, or two, you're going to be overpriced.
Yeah.
So you can't just set it and forget it.
Because the market's fluctuating, it's going up and down all the time.
Right. And if you do that, your unit either might not fill, or you just totally filled up for next to nothing.
Exactly, and you definitely don't want to do that. So in your experience, why would you think that you're so successful compared to other people not being successful?
I think because like I said, I drop the price until it fills, so I stay full. I make my units pop. I make sure the pictures are big. Pictures are huge. It has to look like the unit, right? Like you can't just can't post pictures that aren't really the unit. But besides that, it's
that easy, that simple.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it right here. Matt Freeze explaining all, taking you on a deeper dive into Myrtle Beach oceanfront condo ownership. Click the screen now to see the next part of the interview with Matt Freeze. Look at what's coming up next.
I just watched what properties we're booking for, and at that point I said, there's no way that it can't be profitable. I've thought about diversifying and buying in other areas. I can't find the cash flow that I'm getting here.
What would you say to yourself if you were a first-time investor and, if you could save yourself a year of time, what would you go back and say to yourself? For those of you interested in diving just a little bit deeper into Matt's experience and his expertise, I got a handful of questions that I'm excited about asking him. Matt, how did you get started investing in oceanfront condos in Myrtle Beach?
So I've actually met somebody in the Dominican Republic who was telling me how profitable it was. This was probably 10 years ago. And then shortly after I went on a cruise, and I met somebody on a cruise who I asked them what they did, and they said, I own investment properties. I said, well, what else do you do? They said, I own 14 investment properties, that's it. And that's it really intrigued me.
It obviously paid off following that advice, guys. You heard that yourself. He's been in the business, he heard about it 10 years ago. He's been in the business 8 years, and he's obviously doing well in the Airbnb short-term rental market here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So it doesn't take a blinding light to realize that this is the way to go, right?
Right.
Now, what attracted you to investing specifically in Myrtle Beach oceanfront properties?
Well, so after I met a lady in the Dominican Republic who was explaining to me how much money she was generating down here, I started watching Airbnb and I just watched what properties we're booking for. And at that point I said, there's no way that it can't be profitable. I just ran the numbers over and over again for almost a year. And that's what made me decide Myrtle Beach. Since then, I've thought about diversifying and buying in other areas. I can't find the cash flow that I'm getting here due to the cost to cash flow.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, our oceanfront condos are some of the cheapest in the nation.
Right.
And as far as short term, so we're where you want to be.
Right.
Basically, I mean the profit's there. Like, I mean, I can't say it enough. Now, of course, we can't guarantee future profits, and yes, there are bad, investments that you can make that aren't smart and aren't good. Absolutely. However, when you work with a solid and professional broker like myself that's going to help you, we're going to give you all of the best information that we can gather for you so that you make a savvy and informed investment decision. You're hearing it right here live, guys. Now, what would you say to yourself? It took you a year to gather enough information, work up the confidence to take that plunge, right? What would you say to yourself if you were a first-time investor and, if you could save yourself a year of time, what would you go back and say to yourself?
Well, just do it. In those 2 years I did my research, the values went up. So that could have been extra equity in my properties.
Look at what's coming up next.
Literally made the plunge. We sold our primary house so we could buy our first one.
How do you assess the potential profitability of a Myrtle Beach oceanfront condo investment? As long as those pictures are going to pop.
Right. It's all about the picture. What finally, once I found a lender, two, I found a way to come up with the cash. I made the plunge.
Yeah.
And we literally made the plunge. We sold our primary house so we could buy our first one.
You hear that, guys? Right there. So, and it obviously paid off.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that would be a huge risk for a lot of people. But think about that. Matt was courageous enough to overcome the fear of, one, everything that could go wrong, and what if this, and what if that, and all that. And on top of that, he went even further to sell his primary residence so that he could break into the oceanfront condo investing game. And it has obviously paid off very well for you. Yeah. All right, guys, so let's keep rolling. All right, how do you assess the potential profitability of a Myrtle Beach oceanfront condo investment? So like when you start running those numbers and looking through things, what's going on? Walk us a little bit through your process.
So I guess I kind of, I look at the amenities, I look at the property overall. Overall, at this point, I feel like I can look at a property and just tell in the back of my head, okay, here's what I'll make a year on this. But it comes down to the amenities, the look of the attraction of the building. And
yeah. So basically, you're saying, and I'm gonna put this in my own words here. If the unit and the resort will show well on Airbnb and VRBO, then it's probably going to be a winner.
Right.
As long as it's got the right amenities, and then as long as it shows well, as long as it's updated well, it's got LVP flooring, it's got modern touches and finishes to it. As long as those pictures are going to pop.
Right. It's all about the pictures.
It's all about the pictures. So I mean, guys, we're making it simple and easy here. He's giving you the sauce right here. It's all about the pictures. Of course, you want to make sure that you have an oceanfront condo resort that has excellent amenities, because that's what the guests are looking for.
Right. When you look at the pictures, look at the resort. Is that somewhere you want to bring your family?
Bingo. Simple and easy way to help you navigate your own decision as far as which to buy in. Would I want to stay here? And now, and I'll also go back on the other side of that. Look at what's coming up next. Or you can buy an oceanfront condo for $96,000 on average. Now, my wife wouldn't want to stay there.
Right.
How do you manage multiple oceanfront condo properties in Myrtle Beach? What are the unique challenges or advantages of owning oceanfront condos in Myrtle Beach compared to other locations?
Especially when there's big events, everything sells out.
There are oceanfront condo resorts in our market that lots of people that my wife would not stay in. Just going to be super honest with you. However, they are generating profit.
They are.
And there is an audience and a demographic that are renting those and that are happy all day long, and they're making money. Right. So, I particularly know of an oceanfront condo resort. You can buy an oceanfront condo for $96,000 on average. Now, my wife wouldn't want to stay there.
Right.
she wouldn't. At the same token, they're generating at least 28, some 30, anyways, at least $28,000 a year in gross rental income. I mean, where can you go and spend 96 grand and pick up a property that's generating $28,000? You're probably going to walk away with 12 to 13 grand in profit every year.
Right.
So you got to weigh what's going to be a good fit for you. And if you're first getting started, that might be a really good option for you. If you've got a limited amount of cash flow to get in the game, it's better to break into the game and start learning and get that ball rolling and moving in the right direction than to sit on the sidelines and not break in or have to save up more cash, and you're just losing out on equity that you could be building in your own oceanfront condo unit if you simply start with a cheaper condo that maybe you don't like, maybe you wouldn't stay at, but plenty of people are renting it out. All right, so how do you manage multiple oceanfront condo properties in Myrtle Beach?
I use HostAway and a great cleaning company and a couple great maintenance guys.
So you've built a little team.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
So, essentially, and so that's something that I'll be able to help you out with. That I'll get you in contact with great handymen, great contractors, and stuff like that. Make that process simple and easy for you. It is in part about building and surrounding yourself with the right people locally that can make sure that they've managed every aspect of that for you, and that you can just pick up the phone and go, hey, I've got an AC unit that's acting up, I've got a dishwasher that's broke, I got blah, 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 and they can just jump right in there and help you out. What are the unique challenges or advantages of owning oceanfront condos in Myrtle Beach compared to other locations?
Unique challenges. There's a lot of them, and so there's a lot of competition, but there's still a lot of demand, and that's especially when there's big events, everything sells out. Yeah.
So, and we have multiple big events throughout the year. The Country Music Festival brings some of the largest names in country music here. You got the Myrtle Beach Marathon. We have over 90, some say over 100 golf courses in our market. Guys, the golfing traffic alone is probably tremendous.
Right, we had the best PGA first turnout ever for this past week.
Yeah, I mean, so we're not exaggerating here. Like, lots and lots of people. We have between 20 and 22 million tourists that visit for a variety of reasons every year. We got 2 different bike weeks that come. Am I missing any big ones?
This Truck Week, Mustang Week.
I mean, guys, there's so much stuff that goes on here. So
cheer competitions,
competitions,
softball.
Yep, softball. We got there's the huge North Myrtle Beach complex, the sports complex up there. Yeah. Anyway, so guys, there are lots of tourism hitting our market every single year. Our economy in large part is built off of tourism here. So basically, if you're looking for a smart move, your short-term rental properties in Myrtle Beach, while they have lots of competition, there is still such a heavy demand. And there's, in my opinion, there's a lot of oceanfront condo units in particular that have room for improvement. So, right. and that's the way that you're going to, climb that ladder on Airbnb. You're going to, you might pick up a unit that's dated and older, and then you just simply do a remodel on it, and you move it up that chain on that Airbnb ladder, so that you're not in the lower percentile, but in the higher, and you're still bringing in great money. So, all right. So competition, you'd say, is probably the number one factor as far as a challenge. And again, I've presented you with an easy solution, guys. You just want to remodel that unit so you can move up that ladder on Airbnb. How do you handle maintenance and upkeep of your oceanfront condos, especially considering the harsh coastal environment?
So the coastal environment doesn't affect too much. It does affect. I make sure I don't put any brushed nickel in any of the condos because that's going to rust.
Brushed nickel, you hear that, guys? He doesn't use brushed nickel in any of the condos because it's going to rust. Easy.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll put either black fixtures or I will put exterior fixtures in the property sometimes.
Wow, you put exterior fixtures in the inside of the property.
Right.
That's a smart move.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's real smart.
Besides that, I mean, the condo hotels in their AC units. The AC units, I definitely spend the extra cash. If your AC unit goes and you buy a new one, spend the extra cash to get a special unit that's made for the beach.
Yep. So, He's giving you the sauce, guys. He's giving you the sauce. All right, so, and then, the coastal environment, I just want to throw this out here. People are always concerned with hurricanes in our market and stuff like that. Yes, we have hurricanes here. It's a very real thing. Yes, these are oceanfront condos. However, your HOA fee is going to cover the insurance on the property, which is going to cover the HOA fee's insurance is going to cover the external portion of the building. So, a large part of that stuff is all taken care of.
It's taken care of. And these buildings have been hit many times by hurricanes, and they've hung around. So they've been tested and proved.
They've got a great track record. So can you share any tips or strategies for maximizing rental income from your Myrtle Beach Oceanfront condos that you haven't shared so far?
So like you said, photos, the curb appeal. You want to renovate the units. 2 years ago, I would have said I would have just throw it out there and rent it. There was a shift after COVID. People have gotten pickier on how the units look. Before that, they were just renting. So make sure your unit looks nice. Make sure it has good photos. Make sure the photos somewhat match what it kind of looks like. Besides that, that's really all you need to do.
Too simple, too easy, guys. He's laying it out for you. He's giving you the sauce. So, all right, what are some common misconceptions that people have about investing in oceanfront condos in Myrtle Beach?
Well, I think a lot of people are afraid of the competition. Almost everyone I've talked to, there's so many there, and there's no way you rent in the winter. I rent in the winter. I'm full.
Did you hear that? He's full in the winter. He rents in the winter.
All year.
There are snowbirds and retirees that are going to come and rent these units. Now, you want to make sure you have a washer and dryer. There's some things that you can do in the unit to make sure you can get long-term rentals, 30 days or more, 3 months at the time, however. But yes, people do rent units during the winter time during our non-peak season.
Right, yeah. So I'm full in the winters.
Yes, yeah. So common misconceptions.
Besides that, the number one thing I hear is the HOA fees, and everyone, once they see the HOA fees, they shut down, not understanding that it's totally irrelevant.
It's totally irrelevant. The tourists are paying your HOA dues if you do it right.
Yeah, I make enough money June, July, August to cover all my bills for the year.
Hold on. I've got to recap that. He makes enough money June, July, and August to cover his bills for the entire year.
Besides that, everything, the winter, off seasons, everything else, that's just extra cushion, extra money in the pocket.
We can't make this any more clear. And this guy is living proof right here. He owns 12 units. He's giving you the sauce, guys. All right, so moving right along, what advice would you have you faced any unexpected challenges or setbacks in your journey as an oceanfront condo investor in Myrtle Beach? And then how did you overcome those?
So the only setback that I can think of off the top of my head is really when COVID hit, and Myrtle, basically they banned short-term rentals. I thought, 12 units, this is gonna be it for me. It was right before summer. Luckily, they shut them down for 60 days, which we did qualify for SBA loans to cover those days. So
nice.
Otherwise, I think there were other options out there.
Yeah. So either way, you overcame those challenges, you weathered it, you got through it, and you're still doing great today.
Right.
Yep. What advice would you give to someone considering investing in Myrtle Beach Oceanfront condos for the first time?
Do it. Don't wait. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to about this years ago, and now the values have doubled since then.
Yep. I had a client who was kicking himself because he was looking at buying a unit pre-COVID. He didn't buy it. He ended up not buying it, and then he just bought it. He paid over $100,000 more. So guys, they appreciate, they're doing well, right, and they make money, and you can depreciate them. Lots of reasons and you save on your vacation costs. There's lots of reasons to own an oceanfront condo. Now, how do you stay up to date on market trends and regulations affecting oceanfront condos?
I'm in Facebook groups. A lot of the Facebook groups I've actually created a Facebook group for almost every resort here. So there's a lot of talk out there. So I just I watch it.
Yep, absolutely. So Facebook is an excellent way. You can also get in, your HOA meeting minutes.
Right.
You can dive into those and find out what's going on, or you can just simply make friends with your neighbors at the units.
Right.
Get a few friends' names and phone numbers. Stay in contact with them. Chat with them. Get the right information. Get that inside information. Which I feel like is probably going to help you out best.
Right.
Yeah. Stay tuned, because in the rest of the video, do you primarily use platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, or both for renting your condos, and why? I mean, because basically that's going to give you access to people that will rent your unit. I mean, that you don't have to pay anything out for.
Here's the link to my website. Here's a promo code, and they're saving 10% by booking direct, and then another 10% using my promo code.
He's giving you the sauce. Can't say it enough. I mean, like, super simple, super easy, guys.
I try to be available, so when that perfect deal pops up, I can.
So do you primarily use platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, or both for renting your condos, and why?
So I'm on both, and Google Vacation Rentals. I'd say 95% of my bookings come from Airbnb. I think it's because of the type of properties they are. If they were houses, I think VRBO would outnumber it. But I'm on Airbnb, VRBO, and Google Vacation Rentals, and my own website.
You hear this, guys? Andy's got his own website set up. Smart move. I mean, because basically that's going to give you access to people that will rent your unit. I mean, that you don't have to pay anything out for. You don't have to pay anything to Airbnb or anybody else. So, I'm a huge advocate for creating a blog around your specific oceanfront condo unit and publishing some content and putting it out there and pushing it out there throughout the year, and running Facebook ads. Super simple to run a Facebook ad and capture people that are online looking, capture their information, that are online looking at, yes, a vacation rental in Myrtle Beach would be a good option for me and my family. So there are definitely plenty of ways to generate interest in your property, but you don't have to pay out fees on Airbnb and VRBO.
Right. Every guest that when they check out, they get an automated message from me saying, if you ever want to return, here's a link to my website. Here's a promo code, and they're saving 10% by booking direct, and then another 10% using my promo code.
He's giving you the sauce. I can't say it enough. I mean, like, super simple, super easy, guys. He's showing you how to get repeat business and make more money next time. And it's a great service to them, which obviously is going to cause them to want to. I can save 10%. Great.
Right. I
want to rent his now. I don't have to go through Airbnb. All right. Can you walk us through your typical process for acquiring a property and making it ready for rental?
Yeah. So acquiring it, whether you have cash. Some people will do either cash out finance or a HELOC on their home and go buy a property cash.
Yep.
Or you have a lender that can finance them with 25% down.
Yep.
And then for that 25% down, you can either again do a HELOC for the 25% down, or save up. What I did, sold my primary residence, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so there's lots of strategies for breaking into the game. But how do you identify a property?
So usually for myself, I look for a deal. I keep an eye out for a deal. Amazing realtor will find the deal for me.
Come on.
I try to be available, so when that perfect deal pops up, I can.
Now, when you say deal, are you looking for a dated unit that you can remodel? Are you looking for a unit that's already turnkey and it's just priced under market?
So it depends, because depends on the time of the year, depends on my availability. If I see a dated unit that they're eager to sell, they drop their price, and I have time, I'll scoop it up. I'll go in, I'll remodel it myself. I'll do all the work myself and basically get either ready, get it ready for booking or sell it.
Yep.
Or if I see a good deal on a turnkey that's been fully remodeled, I'll jump on that.
Just jump on it. Just jump on and get it. Now, you mentioned time of year.
Yeah. So So one of the things that is there's investment buying season. So there's certain times of the year where you're up against a lot of competition.
Is that during summertime or wintertime? Or?
It's wintertime. It's a lot of people are wanting to buy so that way they fall right into the spring, making their first mortgage payment from their first clients, first Airbnb guest.
Yep.
And also a lot of times that's when HOAs are announced and special assessments are announced, and sometimes people are offloading their properties and they want to offload them before
everything hits.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of times it can be advantageous for you as a buyer because, if they've owned the property for 5 to 7 years, it's appreciated, they've made money on it, and then they got all these special assessment hitting. You can come in and go, listen, I'll buy your property, but I've got to pay all these special assessments, and they're making money on it because it's appreciated anyway. So you can kind of haggle them down and be like, listen, I'll take it, I'll pay the special assessments, but I want to buy it at a reduced price. I want to get a good deal on this.
Right.
And they're just, it's paper money for them at that point. It's just appreciation.
Right.
So they're going, okay, great, yeah, I'll cut you a deal if I don't got to pay all these special assessments.
Right. That's usually.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the future of Myrtle Beach's real estate market, particularly for oceanfront properties?
So I think it's going to get limited. I think a lot of the big guys like Hilton and Marriott, they're buying everyone out, they're knocking them down, and they're building big buildings because they see the profit. It's a profitable area. Let's knock down these personally owned condos and put a big resort there.
Yep.
But they're not going to sell those. So now those people who owned in there, now they want to buy another property. Yep. Well, now eventually it's going to get to a point where it's going to be very limited real estate.
Wow. So now is the time to invest.
Right.
Get in now and own as much as you can.
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's get in unit 906. You'll notice nice LVP flooring right when you walk in. Great colors. There's 2 full-size beds, flat screen TV. Closet. It is a bathroom entrance here across the hall. We have another really nice setup here. Double full-size beds, 2 closets. Your bathroom, of course. You notice some granite right there. Nice fixtures. Everything's modern and updated. That's what you want to see. You should have a washer dryer right here, as well as the HVAC system, as you can see. Granite countertop, stainless steel appliances. Everything is updated. Very, very nice. Now your master's here, but I'm going to take you into the dining room and living room first. As you can see, the decor is a big deal, guys. And it looks sharp, it looks modern, it looks trendy. This decor makes for great photos. This is your moneymaker, this nice, spacious, large balcony. As you can see here, you have a view of the ocean, a little bit of a view of the city. Master, again, with 2 beds, flat screen, great decor, nice closet, and of course, tub shower combo, granite, nice fixtures. All right, guys, so we've got another video with Matt Freeze. Click on the screen right now and let's get the secret sauce.